Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Is that correct, my tie here? As we have 2 more rounds left to go for the PGI EU qualifiers. My name's Kyle Lowes, I'm your host, and next to me, also correcting his tie for some reason, and yeah, correcting your tie. I'm not sure how well that's going on there. We have Toffees, we have Avenger. Give him a little pat down, that's fine. Gentlemen, so far, what we saw from that game was the ultimate confirmation of our top 4 teams, because they all came in the top 4. That was perfect for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good way to put it. It was the ultimate confirmation.
I mean, it also talks to me that with the more games we get, the more consistency we get, and we also get to see the best teams. For me, before going into this, that was the 4 teams that I would suspect to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
That is the 4 best teams in Europe. I think this also shows it, and for the 20-team meta as well. And I think even though we have some teams that are not here, they're not able to compete, they're not able to show them up, I think this is the 4 strongest teams in the European right now.
Bit more stable than North America.
Yeah.
When it comes to
maybe. North America only played 12 games, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So the argument is sort of like this: how many games do you need to really sort of
the averages
find the averages,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And honestly, if it goes the way that I expect it to in the next game, we've sort of found that number. Right, we're at a point right now where unless FaZe goes absolutely crazy and does something that's way outside the normal box, we have figured out the right number to find the averages.
Well, let's check out with the standings. Ooh, I got there in the end. 5,000 points from Welcome to South George here at the end. We have 4,800, 4,600. Team Liquid falling down a little bit. 500 points stands between Team Liquid and FaZe. So, again, you mentioned that FaZe would need some good rounds here, some big rounds. That gap is closing a little bit.
It's a little bit. It was 630 before. Now it's 595. So they're catching up. 35 points in this game. So 600 points. Liquid needs to do or have 2 very bad games, and then FaZe needs to have 2 monster games for them to be able to contest for that 3rd spot right now.
Doable.
Yeah, outside the top 6, one of the teams that's really been having the best day is really Grow Up. Being able to get up to 8th place right now. They seem to be kind of shimmying their way into positions.
Growing up.
There you go. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this, there's a couple of teams that we haven't. I mean, Grow Up, El Gigantin, one. These are teams that aren't always in the conversation when it comes to invites to other lands and things that go on there. I think they're representing themselves very well. El Gigantin is doing a great job in this tournament. Very steady, and steady as they go. So the longer that they do this, the more they start to build themselves a pedigree. Remember, first LAN, so the first day, you know that they were off their game a little bit. So to be doing this is really, really impressive. And Team Blank is, I mean, outside of South George, I know we say like the highest rated unsigned team, but let's be honest. Welcome to South George isn't just a typical unsigned team. These guys are absolutely ludicrous. I think they're going to be looking very different when they show up in Berlin, which I am pretty confident they will be showing up in Berlin.
Looking different as in different colors, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. I think so. And I think that Team Blank is sort of up there as well. These guys are performing well. They've maintained their position throughout today. Good stuff.
You know what I'm happy about that? That we don't have to pronounce Welcome to South George anymore. It's just going to be a short, fast name, so we can say it fast.
That's what you're hoping for. Yeah, maybe. Let's take a look at 11th through 20th as well here. Rogue sitting at the top of this spot. Izako Bors just falling down a slight bit there after some of the teams are able to crank up a few more numbers and get them to their name. And that's how it stands.
Singularity coming up into the 4 digits finally after killing FaZe.
Yeah. They could be the ultimate spoiler for this entire
tournament.
tournament.
Well, they only had 3 digits before this, so...
I mean, you're right. I mean, but never mind. The T-Dove could be potentially the one that denies them going to Berlin, given... Depending on what happens, of course, in the next 2 games.
Do you want to be that, or do you not? Like, that's a tough call. Do you want to be that guy who goes viral for ruining it, or do you want to be...
If you're asking me, I would love to be a heel. I would love to be the bad guy. So, yes, I would absolutely love to be that guy.
Would you like to be that guy?
No, because he's probably not going to show up to the party tonight because there's going to be multiple people hating on him. No. I mean, yes, if you're
still a
the thing is, if you're directly contesting for that 3rd spot with the team you're fighting with, it's kind of it's all right. It's a fun rivalry. But Singularity has not shown them their best game. They're good fraggers, but before we started today, they had 9 kills.
So your allegiances lie on the light side. Mine are very much on the dark side. If you join my side, together we can rule the whole PUBG universe.
That makes me neutral alignment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Neutral good, we'll say.
So what's the perfect mixture of the dark side and the light side then?
Switzerland.
Toffees.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Both the same thing. Okay, let's focus moving into game number 14, of course, because, again, a very important game. You know, we've mentioned it for FaZe. We won't talk about them too much more. Copenhagen Flames actually had a pretty good game for them themselves. Fever, in particular, that 3-man grenade that I think made Sims flip out a little bit.
Yeah.
And that did occur for a moment, but it
There
was
he is.
certainly there.
I whipped out my censorship button. I was ready to throw some beeps in there because I think he was so shocked. But it was shocking. That's the Flames. They did it yesterday. Bjorn had this crazy outflank on Liquid, got a bunch of kills. Today, Feverish comes out and is absolutely on fire. And that's their style, though. Sometimes the Flames are really, really tough to watch a little bit in some of the ways they play, and then sometimes they are just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what they said as well. The manager said, we don't want to hesitate. We have to not hesitate. We just need to go for it. Here, being able to take the full wipe on Method, and then also sneaking into the 5th spot. It's a huge accomplishment for them.
What about Method on the other side, of course, because they haven't had the easiest time in some of these games.
No, Method was kind of in the congestion for that 3rd spot if they showed up today. As I said, I think it would be FaZe or Method contesting for the 3rd spot. Unfortunately for Method, they've had a rough day 3.
You know what, though? They went for it, and I respect that. They came out of the gates blazing. They went for hard middle compounds, and that is something that I have to give a lot of props to. They tried, and they pushed, and they deserved it.
All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Time for game number 14. We're going to head over to our commentary team. Do you guys have any more army men, or are they all abandoned now?
I've just got one dude. He's just chilling with us. He's Manu. We basically brought out Break. He couldn't make it to the tournament. He made it to the venue, so I thought I'd give him a little
Press F. Gone.
I mean,
Sorry.
but we do need to get serious because we're down to the last 2 games now.
Just said Martin Shaw, he died to the Blues.
Still trying to heal out in Georgia Fall.
2 games, Lauren.
That's
That's
all
it.
stands between us and Berlin, and the teams know it as well. The line is so much here, Rich.
So I kind of want to throw our minds back here to IEM, Katowice. Now, everything that could have potentially gone wrong and right at the same time happened. We saw Avanga. They fell in 20th position in the last game. 20th, literally the first team to die. And all of a sudden, Optic Gaming kind of went, you know what, boys? Let's lay down the hammer, crack on, which they did, and they really bumped up there. So this isn't over until it's over. Previous round to this, FaZe were about 700 behind 3rd place. Liquid have dropped down, and now they're only about 600. So we kind of know that there's potential here. We'd have to see Liquid fall very, very, very early. We're talking a plus 15th placement here. The question is, does a team like FaZe have the balls to kind of drop on them, or potentially at least go for them, go for the kills, go for the jugular, get them out of the game? This is where the hot drop potential, it's obviously not happening now, you can see that on your screen, but we're talking next game. If it's a matter of we qualify, we don't qualify, you know, us or them, simple as that. Oh, he's going to get...
If he's on
If
for
he's
the
on the
ride,
back.
take me away.
I mean, is he going to run him over? He's in the open,
Yep.
is Ibby.
Oh god, this like as much as it's a joke.
He's dead. He missed it.
Ibby, the moves from Ibby. How?
He's getting shot from across the way.
Yeah, he is. The UMP's been picked up.
He's
Ibby, as much as he could avoid the car for only so long, the bullets from the UMP are pretty solid, and that's a big
people
loss.
are dying as well in the vehicles. That's crazy, knocking out Rafi. So 2 people back to back have been run over.
And Liquid are struggling to find cars now. Obviously, this is a little bit scary for them.
Look at where FaZe are. They've not gone all the way. They've took the boats. They played this one safe. Rather than going on the road and go for the huge mass, the dense area, they've gone over to Sosnovka. They'll play this one late. This is where potentially now for FaZe, they could do what I've been talking about in the background. They might actually run the East Coast. They'll be able to jump probably bottom end. They might even skirt this all-round Milta. Either way, they're going to have to play this late game. We're talking about Liquid. They'd have to go last. They've just lost person.
Can we get on board with Liquid right
It's
now?
gonna be a
Because
third.
I don't
It is.
think they can get. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
there we go.
Oh, he's going to
Goodbye,
put... Oh, no, he's got to go.
that's just-
3 people
And
knocked up.
again, this is very scrappy. This is very scrappy at the moment. Teams just trying to find places. And it's no surprise to see Zako Boars again doing very well for themselves. They're very good at these rotations. But so FaZe will take their time. They'll get to Milta eventually. Can we look at Liquid? Because they are very late coming in towards Yaz. Now, I'm wondering how many vehicles they've got or if they're just running at this point. You have Jeems pretty isolated away from the others. He is not that close by.
They're playing emergency backup here. They're splitting. Because now they know they're down in numbers. One of their top fraggers in the form of Ibby, of course, it's panic stations. You've got Samty doing the usual. He'll go through the 6 stack, the back stack, the ones that generally have high
nice
chance of getting loot.
there.
Yep. But they know that they're in panic stations. They know they just have to keep for placement now and keep going. Rather unfortunate for Penta, they've already lost 2 in the first seconds of the game, really. Jeems again, emergency backup plan, just go chill on your own, Jeems, do what you ever finally phase. They will eventually land. They're probably going to. They will do, but again, it's going to be really late. I mean, thank God no one's there, unless Moonwolf just accidentally out of the blue pushed them for no reason or don't realise they're there.
Washout. They
stopped anyway, yeah.
Yeah, they should be fine. I don't think they're going too far. The interesting thing for me is the looting situation. When you get pushed out of your usual spots early or you have early fights, right? It's one of the two. It means that your loot's always going to be slightly behind, whether you miss out on meds, a level 2 vest, something of the such, you'll be always lacking. And sometimes you do like a 2-2 split or you rotate half of your team early to a better position, for example. That's fine because you'll have position and then the other 2 generally bring loot. Now, in this sort of predicament, you can't necessarily do that. They do have Jeems in a good spot in the essence of he can hold position. It's the old known Leanville, but other than that, how does he got an M24?
That's literally just, I'm looking at it now thinking, all right, Brendan's in the back player and notice, okay, you lost to Beether. Here's an M24, son. There you
go. Do you reckon he's got a little app on his phone?
That'll make up for him. That's what he does with the red zone, right? When you played in match, it's like, have that.
It's like the Hunger Games, you know what I mean? When you could like vote for your, your duo or whatever it was, and they could like little send-in drops.
20p in the machine, bump. There you go, drag and drop.
Yeah, that's how it works. But this is all very much on an edge. This feels very scary for a lot of these teams. I've seen some of the bigger names getting pushed early, losing out a couple of players here and there. And this circle, there's a lot of terrain to look at, but let's look at what's actually in play here. Stalber Hills. I like how Singularity have that. They've been quite greedy in how they've approached it, and that's good. This plays well for Alliance, who we have not seen much for. There have been very few northern circles to this degree. Singularity can show their presence. Find 1 on the way, find 2 on the way. Hamster and Pony Rider go down.
They're tagged up as well.
The Animal Slaughter is now on the corner. You're going to see him pushing this one. He might as well. He might feel it, trying to just bait the timing on those revives. Thrown so good. Denies the kind of, I guess, predicted angle. You're going to try and aim around on that corner. But now who's going to try and take the fight? No one. Singularity suffer there, or at least the player who tried to get early position. And the Flames will recover.
Same scenario before what we saw with FaZe. You lay down on the floor, you just wait for the overpeak. Bam, kills him. Thank you very much. Commits to the 15 and takes the points through. Further afield then, FaZe, they've got to get yet inside the circle. The Knights, that'll be a very short trip for them. Rogue, Yannick's already on the opposing side. They've been doing that for a while now. Just kind of the initial scout. The bridge is clear, boys. Bring in the cavalry. All of you see is Akobors just chilling. They've got a very short distance to go. Now we'll see Method. They're beginning to make their rotation. This is interesting. These are bullets coming out of the vehicles. This will be a forward fight. Blank is forced to step away from this one. Rotations again, getting caught. The tap fire's there. It's not a fully automatic. It's only an M16, but by God, it will still do some damage if it does hit you. Who's in the back pocket, but no one else is there to kind of have a fight with. But again, that area, we were talking about yesterday, the cubes, that could become the choke point. This fight's still happening. Jambaway fancies it.
Yeah, just don't shoot your teammate in the head and you're alright.
Imagine. Sorry,
seen
boss.
stranger things. Rotation routes. You've got a lot of the teams towards the western side having to go through those bridges. We saw early WTSG and Blank having a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a scrap, but nothing too much. The bridge will allow the play to come in, but there's not much to be gathered in the form of a compound in that area. That's already going to be taken. You might see that western hill that kind of leads to the west of the shooting range being littered with players. That northern coast, still very nice. A couple of teams might fancy that.
You were talking in the previous round about teams deep diving into stats, deep diving into reviews, looking at where people go. The bigger question is, do we see a team like Pittsburgh Knight, for instance? They know where FaZe are, they know where they like to go. Do they prep on the edge of the circle and get ready for FaZe to make their move? Do they prepare for the rotation? I mean, to be in their defense, FaZe does have options. They could take the boats if they really wanted to. They could actually swing it into the blue and take the northern coastline. That's a
long old range
of a shot, that, isn't it?
Yeah, Wizards being caught there. Henri's Aros is Calvin Klein claiming that for himself. We aren't seeing the southeastern team just yet. Blank still on the go. Red zone laying in a couple of bullets. And this is all just trying to vie for those rotation kills. And WTSG really kicking in. Gaxi there, joined by Vard, claiming a good few. Already taking down one player and then confirming the kill. It's nicely done for them. One kill to start off and just showing presence. they're in a scary position in the fact of it's quite open. There's a lot of angles you got to be worried about, but if you show early presence, teams aren't wanting to go towards it right now.
Big shout out to the observers in the back, who are almost getting every single kill on screen here. So GG, boys and girls, fantastic work so far. All pretty much of the east side of this circle is open. We do have Knights maybe playing bodyguard. They'll know they have room. They know no one's going to be up Stalber now. Now we've seen at least the move down. Huge dense fight going on currently. Yesnaya up until just below Severny. Moving in, just kind of across what I like to call the Badlands area. It's completely open. You do have like a big air hangar in the middle, which will become prime territory, but it's all an uphill battle. That's what you got to be aware of. Miraku, here's this one. Easy kill for him. Swings it round on the vehicle. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. 15 points in the pocket.
And welcome to South George went not unnoticed in the first 2 days, but they were not like this. They were not this good, and they've come out really hard today.
It was a quiet one. It was definitely a quiet one for them. You just saw day 2, the glasses came out. Larson says thank you very much. No doubt there'll be a lot of Larson fans out in there. They are they love to spam the Penguins. Plenty of big fan base out there. I'd expect the same for Andy Pyro and his player base, but we won't talk about that man. It's more about Atlantis, not Alliance. Atlantis onto Deegs. 15 points moved to them. But it's these smaller, not smaller team. That's a wrong word to say. Lower down teams in the rankings that are playing spoiler to these bigger teams. They're just there out of nowhere. It's not necessarily the usual place that expect them. FaZe, they'll go late game. Penta, they're down to 2. Moonwolf as well. They're staying a long time here, sharing the vehicles, as you can see from FaZe. They absolutely need the win here. Anything less than second. This isn't a mathematical judgment, but I would say settling for anything less than second will 100% might just put them out of Berlin. They need this win.
And you have to couple that with big kills, and the other team's not doing so well. This bodes well in the fact that Liquid are down to 3 for them. If you're seeing on the kill feed, you can imagine FaZe feeling, okay, that's not bad. Nice parking. Lovely teamwork there from Liquid. Scoom's like, nice.
He's got an Uzi. I wonder what else he's got. Oh,
well, they were late on looting. This is what we're discussing. They did not have an easy time getting over to Yaz. The vehicles were not there for them. Again, they will be working with less. So for them, it's going to be a passive game in my eyes. You can't be taking fights. You might try and opt for something, but Liquid did have the early play get towards an old no-lean town, which is just above the lake near Yaznaya. Wizards are not far away from that, but Jazz has had a bit of a... We're talking about who's the worst driver here. I mean...
It's not good. Further afield, talking about what you mentioned on Liquid and kind of touching it more. I mean, when you're playing with 3/4 of your team, 75% within seconds of the game starting, it puts a worry on you. You start to become panic stations. Just a quick note, FaZe, finally, they've actually done what I've been hoping they would do. They're going for this complete eastern draw. Take the coastal road. They might even continue through past Kameshki, keep going further afield, and just take the north. They do have a team hot on their heels in the form of Moonwolf. They probably will be, if there's doubled up on vehicles and someone with a scope, they should be able to see this. But they'll swing it around the back of Stalber. Nice bit of a chiller here. IB and UP, they'll also be late to the party. Penta, 2 members down already. Method, setting up a bit of a bridge camp there. They've got both of them locked down. They're waiting for the rest of Atlantis.
It's not a bad idea from them either if they want to get a little top-up on some bits and pieces. The blue has just working behind them, but they're seeing players. So depending on when they want to take this opportunity, they can wait it out just a touch. The problem in the back of Andy's mind, you just saw him looking at where the line sits on the blues. Are they going to try and skim through on the other side? So it might be worth taking that shot now. Tries to lead it, working it out. Does he pop a shot if he stops? Is there a potential for a heal? He's trying to wire it up in his mind. This might be the now. Doesn't get it. Trying to do what he can, but Grob actually going outside to the zone here. Again, number 2. Now his teammates join in. Just lining him up. That was a tag coming in. I think that's for his teammate. You could really tell it when it is the 24 connecting. Not happening with that. Switching over to the 16. Tapping away.
They're committing to this.
There's another tag, though. That's really quite important. 80's there in the back lines as well, so they are doing well. This is points for them, bear in mind.
It is, but you're staying committed here. You start using meds as we switch on to Pybas. Look straight up, the Wizards. They roll down. Itzy confirms that kill onto Atlantis. Grubsy, he's dead and gone. Excuse me, he's knocked. He isn't, so that'll be 1 member potentially for Atlantis still running around. FaZe have entered the fray. Actually, Gemty's going to run, unfortunately, into Knight. Sexete is back on the quadrant, though. They'll be able to set this compound. It's a big play there.
Are being very, very abrasive about this. You do see Moleman finding one of the Atlantis guys in the end, so that will be a pickup of points, but beyond that, it's not much. Looking at the Singularity, still in a good spot, but very isolated. If you've ever been in this compound, you'll know what I mean. Now, FaZe up towards the northeast are okay, but there's a chance that Knights could springboard into this, or maybe they could just lose a couple of players here and there. Most of the crates are seeming to go to the water, but look how condensed this area is. I like Red Zone's position. I do like that compound, but FaZe taken to the hills here.
They are, but teams still need to make their appearance into this circle. There's still two more in the form of Moonwolf and Penta, both of which could play spoiler. I mean, if you think about it, they played at 50% power in the previous round and still did top 4. You're running on all guns here. Knights starting to run the gauntlets directly between 3 teams, looking at Severny. Now, you'd think, if you're a betting man, Alliance would have stayed there.
Look at those logos. It looks like the map that I've got here. Where's the action men?
I like it.
It's on. Pop that in there. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, you can see it in context now. As much as it does look very clustered on the map, that's actually the scaled positions to each other. So there still is room, but those Kar 98s can easily breach that sort of distance, or any of the kind of, I guess, DMRs these days, or sniper rifles purely in their essence. It's very capable to hit. We've seen comfortable 400, 500, 600 meter shots from these guys.
It's a distance fight, right? And it all comes down to level 3s not readily being available. But even then, we saw yesterday, Method, they had 3 level 3 helmets, and they just got absolutely battered by, I think it was Larson with a long-range shot, took out one, and then everyone else just rained terror upon them, and they went out straight away. So necessarily, the gear's good, the gear's there. It's very vital for these late-game players, but placement and placement on map is more vital right now.
Now, Blank and FaZe could be the next to find a bit of contact if FaZe continue to sweep the direction out, especially after hearing these shots. FaZe had seen the team rotating away, and they're definitely going to hear these shots coming through now. If we can go back to that map overview at some point, that was really cool. Not this one, you know, the big aerial view, that was sick. But let's go on board with FaZe, see if they're actually going to push these shots as well.
There you go.
Yeah, this is the contact from FaZe. It's Gemty towards Nibs, but I don't know if they can spot the others out. There's a lot of angles where you can deny the line of sight, Alliance to get into this, but look at these guys. They are hungry for this kill. They're out for blood, and you might not be wanting to get in that car because up close and personal. FaZe starting to get into this one, and they need to. They do only find 2 players. This was a split from Blank. This was not their entire forces, so don't get yourself in a bit of a twist just yet. They've just got good ground, but I'm pretty sure I saw a team behind them at some point. So again, yes, you can see this. If you could just adjust that slightly, if you could twist it so you could see the top of the hill, you just see Penta there coming in from the southeast, the very bottom left of it. They could sweep down towards FaZe and cause an issue, but they are in cars, so FaZe should hear this. If we could spin on board with that, because that could be a problem right at him. Oh, Fuzzface, the moves! He's got him, apparently dips out of the way, but it's Haxetti to find the kill. So again, Penta being picked up here. Still 20 teams alive, a lot of players, and the first couple of confirmed kills really starting to come through. A couple of these teams starting to suffer, and the circle condenses very central now.
Tagged him back, 45 points there for FaZe in 3 kills. A couple of players walking by as well, like a Giganton though. Oh, that's for the DP getting turned on like that. It's not good. He should have battered those, but they're outside in the open. That's WTSG. This is currently your #1 team that's going down. Is that them dead and gone?
I'm pretty sure that might have
No,
been.
2 left.
Okay, they are.
But 1 team has just fallen, so that must have been Penta. That must have been the solo guy. But
I would have
still,
been surprised, yeah.
your top 2 teams, you're looking at, you know, your top 3 teams even. Liquid.
Where's Method in this? They were
lost
very
1.
late as well. Method are pretty far out of this too.
They overcommitted. They're still far back in the blue.
They've got vehicles, which is one benefit of where they currently are. They have vehicles, they're okay. Robin being put through his paces here, not be able to find too much cover. Dips in, and his teammate does get caught in the heels. So that's Froz doing well, but he knows it's not going to be a confirmed kill, but he can start taking away HP, ruining vests, helmets. We all know what it's like when you get to the end of the game, and you're just feeling rough because you know a bit of a strong breeze might just crack that helmet you're rocking with about 3 HP left on it.
Especially with an SLR. Just looking down the barrel of that thing, I mean, what, 58 per bullet? Give or take, depending on what kind of armor you're wearing, but still, it's the headshot multiplier, which is most important. It's insane. And those DMRs, the vertical recoil, the horizontal recoil, it's what makes it so powerful. And the fact that you can just tap that, they shouldn't be able to get out of the live. There's 2 players in there. Singularity, Calvin Klein goes for a wander. Looks like Ibre's fat-fingered that. Yeah, might go off a cliff, might go out of a vehicle too fast. Who knows? Method, they're going for the split. I've said they're in the blue before, they're not just ahead of it, but the head of the curve slightly. Gavran comes on El Giganton again.
This little red zone battle with El Giganton.
They're getting split apart, though.
Yeah, they are. I don't know how well that's going to go down for them.
What are FaZe doing? Are they going back in the blue and just going to go for a wide one here, or are they going to follow the blue in?
I actually don't know. Is there another vehicle? Yeah, vehicles. Okay, that makes sense. I thought they'd lost their damn minds and just gone, it's time to leave. This nade
His
could
teammates
be
opened the door for
very
him.
nice. Yeah, nade goes in. Did it actually make it through? It might have done. They're trying to evacuate. You can't get away. Not all of you. Savage gets found. And now the push to follow the sky is perfect at this range. But it's his teammate to do the damage in the background. And now be El Giganten again struggling here. A team who've done well. Caught a couple of names, but early to fall this time.
Can we appreciate that Celis actually shot the door for him?
It's
It's
great.
fantastic.
It's a really nice way to play it.
Smash the door down, throw the nade in, light them up, job done. See you later, my friends. They go out in 19th place.
And again, keeping tabs on how this looks. The teams aren't too compressed just yet. There's still plenty to play with. They know the terrain like the back of their hand. Singularity in a bit of a scuffle with FaZe, who did take their time on this circle, but again, Singularity are in that isolated kind of garage. You can see it on the coastal line there, the little kind of lime green icon. FaZe have the hill to play off of, but then you have Copenhagen Flames in their way. That could be the next problem. You're hoping maybe a third party comes in there, an alliance chiming on that. But again, a lot of this ground is very open. You do see the condensed areas, you see Penta, or excuse me, it's not Penta, who is that one left there? Knights, excuse me, in that nice little dip we've seen utilised before. Now Alliance are laughing, Flames are feeling good. The southern side is tricky to hold because a lot of rotations will come your way.
Look at both Fizz and Liquid, straight in the cars, no fear whatsoever. Boys, let's get in the circle, let's try and find some kind of ditch. That's a hard tag though,
yeah,
isn't it?
Samty, I'd be fearing a better FaZe.
Two of them.
He's gone. Pony Rand has found Haxetti here. Where's the rest of them though? This is huge. Where are the rest of FaZe? Are they still alive in this one? Gemty's gone down. This could be them really struggling. They've tried to do what they can, but
Mexi.
look, you're going right into Alliance. They know what's here. You've got to fight your way out of this one. He gets down one, but surely he can't stay alive in this situation. There's so many people around him now. WTSG are now warming into the battle, and it looks like FaZe have fallen. Real's just found Muxy. Where is that remaining player?
Looking across the map, it's Samty. He's gone to the edge. He's all the way down at the bottom. So, in one quick rotation, we lose 3 members back to back to back of FaZe, just like that. Meanwhile, Scooby's fighting his own battles. He takes out one, finds
That's
another.
WTSG. This is huge for them. But now look who's pulling up here. More
They've only got
players
2.
on the corner.
They're
Oh,
gone.
Scoom, you're insane. VoD gets completely punished. The adjustment on the hip fire then just follows it up by closing in on him. Somehow Liquid survive.
Number 1 team, 18th place. That's big. In the bigger scheme of things, that's big
God,
because
that
that
is.
now helps out Liquid and anybody else who's 2nd and 3rd to jump them up a little bit. They've removed a big contender from the
So
game.
where is Fuzzface here? Because he stayed alive. He was the only member of FaZe to still stay in this.
I think he's in the shack. I think he's in
Is
the
he in the
lonely.
shack?
Look, he must be in the lonely shack just as you're heading up the hill. Either that or he's just in a ditch.
You're just holding your breath, praying for something. Zaku Ball's now moving in towards the BZ side. Gonna get an angle through that tap away, but you know they can crouch down. You've given away a bit of an angle there. You're hoping you had a nade, but now fire from afar comes in. Smoke goes down, but not gonna happen. That's Robin fighting the shot back on him.
Fantastic job so far. Back to Zamkin. They're just going to fire on as many bodies as they can see.
Samty.
Dead, gone and buried. That's going to be Moonwolf. All of a sudden, Texas, he steps up onto Calvin Klein. Knocks and confirms. 15 points to the Knights there. Easy peasy for them. In the mist, though, you can still see these teams. Howard Kramer. 2 HP in a dream, but he will get the kit off, so he does stay alive for now. Back to 75%.
Method in a good spot here. They could punish this. You can see both teams doing the similar approach, just hitting that really split line across the cover to try and make it really hard to transition spots. I like it. The range isn't great with Method, at least on 8C. We did see a little bit of range on the likes of Andy earlier on the fight towards George, but they need to put at least one player out of place to open up an avenue to push themselves further if they want to take that fight.
Killing someone like the Knights now, we've seen WTSG down. Killing someone like the Knights is huge for the bigger story, so to speak, if Method do win this fight, because both teams are engaging here. They've got a defilade, I want to say.
Singularity. Look who's coming over the hill. Trash Dove.
The killer of dreams.
Literally at this point, it might just be.
Andy.
Andy, we need him to get into this. He's one of the players that you want to be doing well. Not got too much going for him just yet. Chris is, though, going to find one. And this could now kind of encourage the push. You found the middleman, though, which still means while the flanks are open, you can see Chris is aware of that, or at least keeping maybe potential mind towards it. But they're trying to find the way forward. What's the best angle of approach? What can they be found? Ooh, hold on. Jeems just got found as well. Liquid aren't in the best of spots here.
That's a headache there. The M24 finds its target.
Andy!
And again, another M24
There
does
we
finally find a tag. That's 2 down. The picks have been made. Now they have to commit to this fight, though. They have to push. But I didn't realize, look at how damaged Aitsy was. Look at how damaged Chris was. The backburner, Voxic, he's managed to apply the pressure and keep them at bay for now. But the walking wounded, they're all crawling back. But Andy, he's hungry. He needs points. He smells blood. The grenades are going to go in thick and fast.
Texas is a really good spot though, Rich. He's still holding that cross. If they want to get these kills, he's going to be possibly being able to rack up 1 or 2. It depends how hungry and greedy they get here. He has to be their redeeming, saving factor. And now, obviously, the blue will be in the back of their minds. 50 seconds until that moves. But
There's
Chris
one.
did find one. I think the other might be able to get a revive going, and Method need to be careful to not overextend here, because if they do, Texas is holding that cross very nicely, but Andy
Sweet
Pyro's
tag.
position is very good as well. It's quite deep on the flank, so he could be the one to find that shot, and it does seem as though the tag is there. Already Texas feeling worse for wear, as that is going to sting down incredibly low, and it is Andy to secure. Now, Knights down to 1 player. The revive just came in. They have 2 here, but Moleman uses this as the springboard to move forward, claim the kill, and now work out where the remainders are. This is very meticulous from Method. I like this approach. It's smart play, and it's put Knights on the back foot.
Able to at least stare down the barrel here. Molman just going for it, praying and spraying it. He steps up as well. They're going to try and pincer in here, but they need to be careful. Drayden's still standing. There's one. Drayden answers back. But all of a sudden, they're all dead and gone. The Knights, one of your top 3 teams, is out in 15th place. That is fantastic for Method as they try and claw this one back.
Method are fighting for this tooth and nail. You can't take it away from them. They're taking the fights. Trash Dove still waits in the wings, but beyond that, the flames are still there, very much apparent in this. Alliance are taking every fight they can, and you've got a lot of singular teams left around.
So I think we've got 2 for Liquid, still kind of chilling in the back burner. We have 1 from FaZe. WTSG is gone, and so are the Knights. Our entire top 4 have just been completely picked apart in this game.
Gets a little scary now.
Fuzzy center as well. He could stay. He could literally chill here. I mean, the worst scenario that happens for Fuzz is that somebody just breaches his little shack. A whole team just blitzes at it with
Don't
a.
you hate it when that happens?
That's
But now Flames going right in towards Liquid. They've actually pulled up here. I hope they're not both inside. Oh, they are. Fever could just pop in a nade and that'd be perfect if he can. Trying to hop over the top, but Scoom is so on point right now. This man's feeling it, but can he keep going? He pushes, he can't get it done. That might have been over-aggressive, as you're already seeing Hamster punishing. Underhand nade could be good here. Dribbles its way forward, tickling as it goes. It does confirm the kill, gets Hamster down, but there's still a lot to be done here for Liquid. There's only 1 man standing, and Jeems has to do it all.
He's a fragger, he's a slayer, he's an absolute player. 2 more of Flames are here, but he picks up 30 points himself, so that's going to be an important one. But they do get tagged up in the back. That's Alliance, the third-party system comes through. Can Jeems stay this one? This is a one-on-one battle for placement right now.
Yeah, we need to see how he's doing in this one. I'm curious if Jeems gets aggressive. I know you want to in these situations. You're chomping at the bit, and you better get that nade right.
Imagine.
Oh my god, Pony Rider might just be
The car.
completely destroyed! It's perfect from Jeems! Placement is his, and dominance is his. He holds the line, and T-Bone now on the other side doing the same thing. Method are aggressive, it's unbridled, and they want this fight. They've shown that they have the power to do so, and Alliance look a little scared here, if I'm honest. They're cowering in towards that hangar. I don't blame them either. You're seeing these guys with a real hot hand coming into this matchup here. It looks like they've been kind of antagonized through the last couple of matches.
Just noticed Andy, M24 and AUG, which means, in theory, he should be level 3'd out of his mind. He can get line of sight on so many people from this little watchtower here. Smash them to pieces with the 5.56. If anyone's at range as well, he'll be able to see them in the distance with the 24.
How do Alliance get out of that compound?
I mean, I think they get out dead, to be honest with you. They can just, if they've got grenades from Method, they'll just completely flame them out here.
Now, I like what Aitsy's doing, clearing very cleanly through the kind of trash around the building, ensuring that maybe there's no one splitting. They don't know that it's a full 4 in there. They might know it's 2. The nade from Zigzy and the push from T-Bone. It's not bad, but they can't overextend. Andy is still there, hungry as ever, waiting like a shark in the water for a person to put their little toe in so he can take off the leg. But for now, he just bides his time again, puts up the wall, but the split, the 2-2 on the backside, just seeing it coming in from the northwest. I don't think they're aware of it, and this could be Method's downfall. Keep eyes on Viezi here. Are they aware of this? Are they prepared for it? No, it's the downfall. Aitsy is there. He gets 1, but 1 is not enough. Alliance staying alive and doing the damage. Chris in the back lines tries to hold on, but that is Method done. They did not consider all the options, and Alliance outdid them completely and utterly.
Viezi steps up with the SMG. creates a gap, opens the door, and then the rest of Alliance, they flood Method and deny them any further in this 14th round. 10th place will be theirs. They've been doing so damn good so far, but unfortunately, things once again just do not go right for Method. They split too much. Froz with a long distance M4. Thank you very much. Why not? Paps in between the brain. Finishes off the kill. Fleeks from UP. He's down and dead. Let's take a look at this field now.
Oh, God.
Jeeves.
Oh, Jeeves. Sweet summer child. It's not where you want to be, is it? But Fuzzface can't take this fight. He's in the broken down shack. And actually, the third party, Dave the Crazy, just saved Fuzzface's life. He was a one-shot away. He's got health. He's got kits. He's still alive here. How on earth is he holding on to this?
Oh,
Bear in mind,
my God.
in Fuzzface's mind, all he is thinking of right now is, I need to stay alive to give us a chance to get to Berlin.
He's got what? A wheelie bin and a plank of wood. Oh, talk about scraping the bottom of the
But
barrel.
you can't cross to him.
No.
It's an open field. No one can get close to him without a third party coming in.
I mean, he's got another kill. Trash Dove, so that's the revenge. He sees him at range and he pips
But
him.
Blank are going to hear and know this has happened. Fuzzface needs to be really careful now. I don't think he can get away with this.
That one tap literally gets him 15 points and another place.
Look at Alliance's position here as well. Up on the top ground, on the high ground here. Nade comes in. They could push off the back of this, but again, do you want to? There's no cover to run to. This is a very open area, and already the fire comes in. Alliance trying to dodge bullets left, right, and center, but they can't do it. Sigzy goes down, gets knocked. That's not looking like a revive at this point. Confirmed kill comes in, as it looks like Alliance are down to the very last members.
It's getting messy. T-Bone. I think there's an M24 in the back burner there. 14 players alive, 6 teams, 6K here for Alliance. But
Red zone, what a spot for them.
T-Bone is the last man standing. He does have to go downhill. He's rather close to the circle, a lot closer than most others, but still, look at this. Back to Zaki. 8 kills in the bag and 4 players left standing. Unfortunately, this time round, the circle does not swing in the favor of FaZe. Fuzz has to... The other teams have to look at each other and take the fight, and then he basically just has to run. Just absolutely lightning bolted across the map. Nobody inside the circle yet. Everyone has to make their move.
Because there's no cover. There's almost
Zero.
no cover. So it's who can find fights on the way, who's got smokes, who can create cover. That nade, if it goes far enough, could do very nicely, but I think it's in front of the hut still, so I don't think it's going to get as far as they'd need it to. But now here comes the blue. This is scary for all these teams. This blue chunks you down, and you know it does. It's time to run. The smokes get put up, but keep eyes on this. There's the nade. Froz finds one. There's no revive available, surely not at this point, and you know that you're in trouble now. It's time to run into the fields and see who has that line of sight.
The rest of Bakazaki are shooting onto Fuzz here, but one of them's actually just been knocked at distance. Could we see Wizards save FaZe's life? This is a long-range cross-map fight. T-Bone hits
in a good
the deck.
spot.
He just needs to snake. I mean, he's got a little bit of time to play with here. Celis finds Robin. They're still shooting through the smoke here. The taps do come through. Froz wants more. But FaZe, Fuzz, he steps up. He finds a face when it matters most. The smoke's there. But he needs to be careful because there's still 2 members of Bakazaki lurking.
Yeah, this is terrifying for him. Oh, Fuzzface again, striking so well. This is big play from him. He's opened up a room of approach, and there's not many lines of sight here. Everyone else is worried about what's going on in the background. Blanca being occupied by Wizards. That's still going on, but T-Bone knows it all. T-Bone has surely heard, seen something, but Fuzzface has cover. He's found like one of the only trees in Defilade. How has he done this? But look at Red Zone. 4 players looking strong. Wizards have to now run the gauntlet, which has not gone well for any other team. 12 kills for these guys. Huge play.
This is insane. T-Bone's looking Fuzzy's way. He knows exactly. Look at the map. You can see him. He's switching back and forth. He's very aware. He's also got an M24, but you'd predict him to be on the back of the AR. The fight will continue down south. Wizards have got to make a move, but if these die, that's T-Bone and FaZe jumping up 1 placement. Alliance will be happy with this one. They can just let all this unfold. Happily, just leave Red Zone to it. They can have the fight with Wizards. You boys can chill for now.
You've got 40 seconds to find out if there's still hope alive for FaZe. Still a hope alive for some of these teams. Red Zone are playing a brilliant game here, slowly working their way forward, taking circle dominance. You're seeing Molotov starting to come in. You're seeing it all. Wizards are in trouble. They go for the peak. They get punished. Hyper goes down. It's down to 1 man standing for them now, and that's all it is. In the smoke, he is waiting, desperate to not be seen.
T-Bone's looking at Fuzz. You can see him. He's staring. He hasn't moved. If he gets this kill, though, this gives
He's on fire right now. Froz does find him, so he puts him out of his misery. We're down to 3 teams here. We've got Alliance with T-Bone, we've got FaZe with Fuzzface, and we have the entirety of Red Zone. Let's see who gets found first here. Fuzzface is waiting 5 seconds till the blue moves. And Red Zone surely have this in the bag, but the others, they're playing for position here. Who finishes second? Who finishes third?
They've seen him! They've seen him!
Here we go. This is surely it. He's going to take a bit of fire. It's down to 1 player remains up against them. It's just Fuzzface in a 1v3 right now. How much can you do, Fuzzface? How far can you take this? Or is this just that little bit beyond you? He's going to take his shot right about now. Catches Celis on the switch. This could be a kill here, but he fluffs the lines a little bit. He's down very low. This is the kill coming in, and it will indeed be Red Zone to win it. But in the end, FaZe held on.
That is a fantastic play from FaZe. All right, I know we keep focusing on them quite a lot, but in the bigger picture, these are pretty much your #1 team in the world. They are chasing a place at Berlin, but fantastic work from Red Zone once again, stepping up when it mattered most. The bigger picture is, all your top teams fell pretty early on. This is a wild game.
Guys on the desk, take it away.
Frost didn't need to drive to that one. Red Zone is able to take the victory with a ton of kills as well. What a play coming out from them, picking up the kills. And that is going to be pushing up those leaderboards just a little bit, getting themselves some more money during all of that. 6 kills, 5 kills, 3 kills, and 2 kills to their name. And FaZe coming up the rear there with the 2nd place with 6 kills respectively as well. And to be honest, we didn't really expect FaZe to go quite that far.
No, with that fantastic push. No, it's actually not fantastic. That was actually horrible. Them pushing 2 guys on a 2-man bike onto that compound. It's a quite easy compound to breach if you're doing it all the time at the same time. Everyone at the same time. But they took 2 guys on a 2-seater, which was the scouting position, and they were outside and they got completely punished. Them getting 2nd with 6 kills here is more than they would have hoped for.
It's an incredible salvage.
And as well,
I mean,
welcome to South George.
Yeah.
Going out that early.
Oh, yeah.
18. Welcome to South George goes out in 18. Knights go out in 15. Neither get a ton of kills. Liquid goes out in 9th with only 6 kills. So same kill count as FaZe, who salvages it.
But let us please just briefly talk about Jeems. As, of course, as the start Ibiza kind of hurt their hopes a little bit here because he eventually gets, attempt to be run over. He actually dodges the ball 3 times, so that's not too bad. But then the UMP is able to kill him off from the garage. But regardless, Jeems' 3 grenades. Just utter godlike play as Copenhagen Flames is pushing in against them. Underhand grenade twice, grenade through the window. Beautiful.
Here's the thing, and as we watch this, all of us throw grenades. And I'm sure that all of us are usually hesitant to switch to the underhand, and we often forget to switch back to the overhand after using it and all this. And he's cooking grenades, switching the stance as he goes, timing it perfectly, underhands through the tiny window to catch the last member of Flames, and then even finishes them off with a grenade to sort of protect himself. So it was just really, watching him use grenades is like watching just a beautiful piece of art.
It's fantastic.
Worth noting though, Scoom, his gunfighting on that was phenomenal. When they got pushed the first time around, it was the Scoom show.
And it talks to how much game awareness and game knowledge that that Jeems has. These 3 nades being able to, he was in smokes as well. Remember, he knows completely exactly where that shack is, where and how the layout around the shack is. 3 nades underhand throw, getting 3 kills is absolutely insane.
But he couldn't nade his way across the field towards Fuzzface. That was just too big of a space. Fuzzface hiding in the destructible shack that everyone avoids. In Jeems cost him every piece of lumber but one. And that one piece of lumber was between him and I think it was Alliance uphill at that point. So it sort of saved his life. He tucked himself in there, and kudos to him on really stretching this one out. But a big shout out to Red Zone. 16 kills. These guys, they had a chicken dinner yesterday. They got a good one today, and I'm glad to finally see them sort of playing their aggression game.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a lot of fun to watch when they do it.
I mean, with that amount of kills as well as the win, they'll probably push themselves solidly into the top 10 now. With that kind of buffer that they get themselves against some of the other teams that are down below, which means more money for them moving forwards as well. But I just briefly want to go back to that Liquid versus FaZe moment, as we have Jeems eventually pushing down towards Fuzzface. For standing potential later on, that's still very important, as Fuzzface is taking down Liquid, who are currently at the 3rd spot
Yeah.
They're trying to narrow that gap a little bit, and I think it may have just happened even a bit more.
Oh,
Well,
it
we said
has
it was
for
what,
sure.
500-600 points at the last time we checked in between the
Yeah.
two.
595.
So 595. You go out with the same kill count, so now kills are irrelevant in terms of score there, and then you have a difference of 2nd to 9th place. So I think they're going to pick up around 300 if I get it right. You know, with Toffee's terrible quick math.
It's getting close, man.
My NA
Is
math
that a
is
new
weak,
thing?
but
Toffee's terrible quick.
Toffee's terrible quick maths. That said, though, I think that they pull in with 300,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
does mean that as we go into this next game, they could do it. I mean, if they don't crash a compound with 2 people inexplicably and play aggressive,
Yeah. I mean, regardless of what's going on in terms of the shift of who's going to Berlin, we're in a situation now where it's who gets first place here in Europe. Right now, we had Welcome to South George there in a really good spot up at the top with a little bit of a buffer. Knights was in second as well. Where did Knights go out? They went out pretty early.
15. So the
Yeah.
top 3 is going to be very, very close. If one of these 3 teams, they have a horrendous game and FaZe wins with a 20-kill chicken dinner, they could easily take that a spot away from the ones these 3 teams in the last game.
because both of them had such a bad performance. Before going into this one, we said, well, Liquid's got to have a bad game for them to advance. Now, any of them could have a bad game.
They're
Well-
going to be so close. Oh, it's coming.
Standings.
Is it here?
It's here. It's here,
Yeah.
boys.
Well, I'm trying to listen.
Standings are in. Let's see.
Whoo! Okay, so
That's
they're
alright.
they're
That's
405 points away.
That's doable.
Up to the next one is less than 100. Welcome to South just looking very strong. They need to have an average game. But Knights and Liquid, if one of these teams
Start early.
have a bad game,
Yeah.
then they could potentially they could do it. Knights, they're looting close to FaZe.
Yeah.
And Knights, they're doing this extreme split loot, which kind of protects them from hot dropping.
Right.
But they could still hot drop one of their players and then completely annihilate that player,
In theory.
making them weaker for later.
Let's bear in mind, Welcome to South George here, still not invincible at the top.
No.
About 200
Yeah.
points there in it between Pittsburgh Knights as well. So our champion here of Europe is not determined just yet.
No, not even close.
No, so this is getting close.
This takes me back to that Optic game once upon a time where they were desperate to win and they had to just fight team after
Oh,
team.
do you remember?
They had to have a chicken
Oh.
dinner, and we watched them sort of play really, really beautifully. I think the other one, though, is like, you know, we can also talk about Red Zone up at 29.50.
They're over method now.
Yeah.
That's amazing
That's
for them.
That's insane for them.
Big-
And again, we talked about it. How did you do at the PGIU qualifiers? If they get 6, they don't have a sponsor either. They're also looking for a team to represent.
Bear in mind, 7th through 10th is $4,000. 5th through 6th is $4,000. So Red Zone with that victory could, if they still keep that momentum, could got themselves $2,000 extra dollars, which is a big deal. Let's check in through 11th through 20th as well here. As you can see, everybody else's points breaks down, and that's how the teams have fallen so far. Gentlemen, we have one more game left.
Woohoo.
Chills. Ooh. So, we do not have our champion crown just yet.
Nope.
There can still be shifts.
Yes.
There is a potential shift in that Berlin, but FaZe is going to have to come out big, correct?
It would be a seismic shift. But, I mean,
Yes.
at this point, it could be done. A chicken dinner is 500 points. So a chicken dinner plus a bad game by Liquid, they swap
Knights.
spots, right?
Or
Knights.
Knights.
That's what I'm saying. So literally no kills plus chicken dinner. That's an advance if they do badly. And FaZe never wins without an awful lot of kills. So if I am those teams above them, I'm worried. But the problem is you cannot let them get in your head. There's one team here that everyone has been scared of since day one, and that is FaZe. And you can see teams adjusting, avoiding, trying not to get caught.
Yeah.
And I think that might actually be their biggest strength. The fear factor FaZe brings is so strong, it forces mistakes on their opponents.
And with that, we're going to have to answer here who goes to Berlin. So far, we have our top 3, but will FaZe be able to challenge that? We'll find out in a little bit here. And don't forget, you can get your tickets to Berlin as well by going to pgi.playbattlegrounds.com/tickets. Make sure to join us in Berlin, where the final circle will fall for all of these teams around the world, as 20 of our best teams from across the planet will be joining one another to battle across our 4 days worth of gameplay, which is going to be phenomenal in itself. We are going to go to a short break here in just a second, but of course, you know, FaZe, they like dropping in Power. You've got yourself Method, likes dropping in Pachinki. What do our other teams like dropping? We're about to find out.
South George.
South George.
For me, it's Rozok, man. I'm a Rozok player no matter what. Like, I play the game since the beginning and I all the time go Rozok. I love Rozok. But now, because I play competitive and I have my captain here, he made me play more passive. But I'm a true warrior, a Viking, you know, Irish guy, you know, like.
Probably Stolberg Kameshki, because it's safe. We don't get contested.
Yeah, straight out Stolberg.
Well, we're going to drop Severny. Favourite place, Severny.
Yeah, Severny is a favourite place. In public games, probably Millie.
Yeah, mill base.
Mill base, that's where it's at.
I used to drop soft charge a lot at the beginning of the game, but I really like Pochinki.
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 Pochinki. Pochinki. All the way Pochinki. Unlucky you cannot go there in competitive since Method is there, but Pochinki is the place to be.
Everybody stays away from Pochinki. That's a fact. We'll see. If there is, we'll see what happens.
I mean, we dropped Milta Power. Solo Avodis dropped Rorschach.
Pochinki. Pochinki, it's nice. Rorschach is very much fighting, yes.
My favorite spot to drop is on top of FaZe Clan.